The year is 2010, and Justin Bieber is a megastar. Bieber fever is running rampant through the population, and teenage girls from across the globe would literally do anything just to get a tiny whiff of him. Deep down, in the dark corners of the internet, this created a lingering hatred that brewed within the 4chan community. The reasons are relatively unknown, but it is clear that 4chan despised Justin and the believers that he created alongside him. So 4chan, being the anonymous board of perfect destruction, decided to act. 4chan knew that believers were easy targets to troll, many of whom were brainwashed into believing that Justin would do anything for them. And some of them even viewed Justin as a deity to be worshipped. 4chan knew they could use this to their advantage, so they decided to band together to create one of the biggest troll campaigns of all time. Strap in, because things are about to get crazy. I wonder what Justin is up to right now. Of course, where else would Justin be? He got caught drag racing in Miami Beach. And what goes better with illegal drag racing? Well, according to Justin, it's drugs and alcohol, because he got arrested for a DUI and even attempted to evade the police in the process. The media was in an absolute frenzy. Their perfect little star was now potentially facing jail time. Not before long, 4chan would catch wind of this information, and they knew it would be the perfect time to strike. Users on 4chan's B-board began to brainstorm. What could they do to seize the moment and create the most destruction possible? One user had an idea, and it seemed to stick. They would start a fake campaign called #CuffsForBieber, urging fans to show solidarity with Justin by committing acts that would land them in jail as well. 4chan was hoping that their campaign would create widespread chaos, where believers around the world would commit crimes for their leader, Justin Bieber. And 4chan wanted front row seats to watch the madness unfold, so they got to work. 4chan used hashtags on social media to spread the word, creating a campaign that preyed on the emotional responses of the young, impressionable fans. To give the campaign some authenticity, 4chan created and shared images and posts that appeared to show fans supporting the #CuffsForBieber cause, using photoshopped images and fake accounts. They mimicked the language and passion of devoted fans to make it appear it was coming from the believers themselves. Over a few days, 4chan would spam #CuffsForBieber on Twitter and other social media, and they waited for everything to go down, and waited, and waited, until... Just kidding. After all that waiting, nothing seemed to happen. The post would not get much traction at all, and on top of that, there were literally, and I mean literally, 0 actual recorded crimes that believers committed during this period. The whole thing was an absolute disaster for 4chan. The threads, along with the #CuffsForBieber cause, would fall apart quickly. Some anonymous users on 4chan tried to reignite it with hashtags like #BoycottBiebs. And on a darker side, things like #StarveForBieber and even #CutForBieber. Some of those seemed to have mild successes, but still, nothing got any crazy amount of traction. Not before long, mainstream media outlets, along with the angry believers, would take quick action to debunk the hoax. 4chan had tried, but #CuffsForBieber would turn out to be one of their biggest failures. The score was now 1-0, with Justin Bieber and his fans on top. But 4chan would not give up easily. They realized that something like #CuffsForBieber was too general, and it required a lot of work from the fans for it to be a success. They knew their next troll had to be something extremely specific that anyone can do from the comfort of their home. 4chan went back to the drawing board to devise a whole new plan, and this time, they would take things to a whole new level. This is where things take a bit of a turn. 4chan knew that if they wanted something to happen, they would have to come up with something truly brilliant. So that's what they did. What they came up with was so crazy that it has been dubbed possibly the greatest trolling incident in all of internet history. Hey, wait a minute. What are you wearing there? Thanks, Justin. Everyone, make sure to check out our new merch store. The shirts will only be there for a limited amount of time, so get some before it's too late. Check the description for more info. Anyways, back to 4chan. Their plan was simple. They would convince the public that Justin Bieber had cancer, and once they did that, they would create a movement to once again show solidarity with the singer. But this time, 4chan would create a new hashtag, #BaldForBieber, which would be an attempt to get believers to shave their heads for Justin. 4chan got to work and began photoshopping tweets from Justin Bieber, which made it seem like it was coming from his official account, announcing that he had cancer. After, 4chan began creating fake news stories and spreading them online. One user even made a phony website, which would convince believers even further. But the most convincing thing was all of the #BaldForBieber photos that were made by 4chan. They made it seem like fans across the globe were shaving their heads for Justin, and they even photoshopped pictures of celebrities, claiming that they were a part of the movement as well. Without doing a ton of actual research, all of this happening at once made #BaldForBieber look real. Fans were beginning to think that Justin Bieber actually had cancer. Some fans, believing the hoax to be true, reportedly shaved their heads and posted pictures with the hashtag, showing their support for what they thought was Justin's health crisis. 4chan was even able to trick a whole radio show, spreading the word even further. Before 4chan knew it, BaldForBieber was going viral, and random people from around the world believed it was true. While the trend was blowing up online, the media, along with some of the more intelligent believers, began to speak up and debunk the hoax, and soon the party would be over. But by that point, 4chan knew they had won, and were already celebrating and laughing at the chaos that they caused. The score was now 1-1, and 4chan was as happy as could be. Back at Bieber HQ, Justin Bieber was furious. He was upset with 4chan and wanted to bring the power back to the believers. So Justin's team came up with another brilliant idea. Since Justin's world tour was quickly coming up, they decided to leave one of the destinations to an interactive poll for the believers. So they launched a website that held a contest where fans could vote on a country not listed on the tour schedule for Justin to visit. The idea was straightforward. Whichever country received the most votes, Justin would add to his tour destinations. So Justin's team released the website, and they would wait to see where all the believers would want Justin to visit. Of course, right when the website came out, 4chan already knew they had to do something. Hosts began springing up on 4chan's B, and the overall consensus was to manipulate the voting system to send Justin Bieber to a country of their choice. But the question is, what country would 4chan choose? 4chan began to brainstorm, and there were a few honorable mentions, like a war-ridden country in the Middle East, or some random country in Africa. But there was one place in the world that seemed to get the most backing from anonymous users, and that place was North Korea. At the time, North Korea was under the harsh leadership of Kim Jong-il, and it was probably the most unlikely place Justin would ever go to. But that wouldn't stop 4chan. 4chan then started a campaign dubbed Send Justin Bieber to North Korea. They spread the word through posts and images across the site, encouraging others to vote for North Korea. 4chan users then developed automated voting bots to amplify the votes. And before they knew it, North Korea was rising in the polls rapidly, overtaking any of the legitimate votes. As a result, news of North Korea winning in the poll began to circulate on social media platforms and even caught the attention of the mainstream media. When the poll ended, North Korea was the clear winner, and internet users from around the globe were excited to see what would happen next. Needless to say, 4chan was extremely happy. They now had Justin in a tough spot. He could either look like a fool and back out completely, or begrudgingly go to North Korea to perform. Justin's team was in full panic, so they quickly took down the site and claimed that it wasn't an actual real poll. They also brought Justin's lawyers out and explained to the public that Justin wasn't legally bound to go to North Korea, so it was official. He was backing out. Even though 4chan didn't end up getting Justin to go to North Korea, they still embarrassed him and his team to the public. So it's safe to say, 4chan won that one. The score was now 2-1, and 4chan was satisfied, coming on top with another victory. And because of this, they would leave Justin alone, at least for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to check out Pezle merch in the description.